The BMW M3 E30 is more than just a car, it's a legend that defined an entire generation of performance vehicles and motorsport success. To many enthusiasts, it represents the golden era of BMW engineering where driving pleasure was the top priority and mechanical purity ruled the roads. When one comes across an abandoned BMW M3 E30, it isn't just about finding a car that needs work, it's about discovering a piece of history waiting to breathe again. Restoring an old abandoned M3 is not just a project, it is a journey of passion, dedication, and respect for an icon that deserves to live on. This restoration begins with the story of neglect. The once proud M3, a car that carried victories in touring car championships across the world, had been left to decay. Dust covered its boxy yet aggressive body lines, rust crept into the corners, the once famous kidney grille looked dull, and the engine bay sat silent. The paint had faded into lifeless shades, and the interior told a story of time forgotten. But beneath all the layers of abandonment lay a car whose heart still beat faintly, waiting for someone to bring it back to life. That someone is me. When restoring a BMW M3 E30, the first step is always the evaluation. I began by carefully inspecting every inch of the car, from body panels to suspension components, checking the chassis for rust, and ensuring that the foundation was solid enough to be restored. Luckily, despite years of neglect, the bones of the car were still strong, a testament to BMW's build quality in the 1980s. The paint had worn away in places, the wheels were corroded, the tires cracked, and the seats torn apart, but what mattered most was that the car was complete. Nothing was missing beyond repair or replacement. The heart of the M3 lies in its S14 engine, a 2.3-liter four-cylinder masterpiece derived from BMW's Formula One technology. This engine, known for its high revving character and motorsport pedigree, needed a complete rebuild. Opening the hood, I found a motor covered in grime, hoses hardened and brittle, and wires chewed by time. The carbons and rust in the intake told the story of years without firing. Step by step, the engine was disassembled. Each piston, crankshaft, valve, and camshaft was carefully catalogued and cleaned. It was not just about fixing, it was about restoring every single component to its original glory. After weeks of work, the block was refinished, the crank balanced, new pistons installed, valves adjusted, and gaskets replaced. Slowly, the S14 was beginning to look like the jewel it once was, and when it would roar to life again, it would remind the world of what true engineering sounded like. The next challenge was the bodywork. Rust is the enemy of any restorer, and the E30 had plenty of it. From wheel arches to door sills, corrosion had eaten into the steel. Panels had to be cut, fabricated, and welded back with precision. After hours of grinding, welding, and smoothing, the car began to regain its iconic sharp edges and aggressive stance. Once the body was solid, it was time for the paint. Choosing the right color was critical because it defined the car's personality. Many M3 E30s are remembered in colors like brilliant red, alpine white, or diamond black. For this restoration, the decision was made to go with the original factory shade to preserve authenticity. The paint shop carefully laid down the coats, polished it to a mirror finish, and when the car rolled out under the sunlight, it looked like a brand new machine straight from the 1980s showroom. Inside, the cabin was a disaster when found. Cracked leather, broken dashboard plastics, faded carpeting, and sagging headliner gave the car a forgotten look. The BMW M3 E30 is known for its simple yet driver-focused interior. With its boxy dash, analog gauges, and supportive Recaro seats. Restoring this interior meant stripping everything out and starting fresh. The dashboard was repaired and refinished, gauges restored to perfect working order, and the seats reupholstered in high-quality leather that matched the factory style. The steering wheel was carefully wrapped, the shifter rebuilt, and every switch, knob, and button tested for functionality. The smell of fresh leather filling the cabin brought the sense that the car was not just restored, but reborn. Suspension and handling were equally important because the E30 M3 was not just about looks and sound, it was about precision driving. The old worn shocks and springs were replaced with high-performance components that maintained the original feel but provided modern reliability. Every bushing, control arm, and link was restored or replaced. The brakes were upgraded with performance pads and rotors to ensure stopping power matched the engine's potential. The wheels were refurbished, wrapped in fresh tires, and when bolted back on, they completed the iconic stance of the M3. Finally, it was time for the most rewarding moment, starting the engine. After connecting the rebuilt motor, filling it with fresh fluids, and checking all systems, the key was turned. For a moment, silence filled the garage, and then the S14 coughed, sputtered, and came to life with a raspy growl. The exhaust note was sharp, raw, and full of character, reminding everyone why this car was worshipped in its time. That sound alone was worth every hour spent, every challenge faced, and every dollar invested. Driving the car for the first time after restoration was an emotional experience. The steering felt alive, the gearbox was crisp, and the engine begged to rev. On the open road, the M3 felt light, agile, and perfectly balanced, reminding me of why it became a motorsport legend. Each gear shift brought a smile, each corner taken with precision showed the brilliance of its chassis, and each glance from other drivers proved the timeless beauty of the E30 design. Restoring an abandoned BMW M3 E30 is not just about fixing metal and parts. It is about reviving history, preserving legacy, and reliving the passion of an era when driving was pure and unfiltered. The process teaches patience, dedication, and respect for craftsmanship. This car is not just another project, it is a living tribute to BMW's motorsport heritage, a rolling museum piece that connects the past with the present. For some, the value of restoring such a car is measured in money, with E30 M3s commanding high prices in the collector's market. But for me, the true value lies in the journey, the experience of bringing something back from the dead, and the joy of hearing that engine sing once again. It's about saving a piece of automotive art from being lost forever and ensuring that future generations can still see, hear, and feel what made this car so special. Now, when the restored M3 stands shining in the garage, every curve and line speaks of resilience. The scars of rust and neglect are gone, replaced by the pride of rebirth. This is not just my car anymore, it's a story, an inspiration, and a reminder that even when something is forgotten, it can rise again if given enough love and effort. The BMW M3 E30 deserves nothing less, because it is not just a machine, it is a legend that has been brought back to life.